Welcome to round 9 of the In the Zone Racing League here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're at yet another mile-and-a-half track in tonight's event. 134 laps tonight under the lights, and things will definitely get interesting. And before we get the race started, let's go down to pit road and Brandon Hoff for the first 3 rows in tonight's event.
For tonight's event, we have Andrew Fash III on pole, and to his outside on the front row is Dustin Langert. Row 2, we find Jordan Hightower in the number 22, followed by Brad Patton alongside of him in the number 3. And rounding out the top 5 will be number 9 of Jeff Ramsdell, and on his outside will be number 7 of Christopher Kurtzel.
Starting 7th in tonight's event will be Bill Brown in the number 84, and starting 8th to his outside is Chad Coleman in the 6th. Starting 9th is Alan Cryer in the number 61, and starting 10th will be Cody Welker. And starting 11th will be Matthew Hicks 2 in the number 66, and to his outside will be Eric Myers.
Starting 13th will be number 55 of Trevor Dalton, followed by, in 14th, number 4 Case Brinksma. In 15th, we have number 96 of Austin Atkinson, and to his outside will be Doug Giller. Then, in the next row, we have Todd Guerin and Scott Rutherford.
Starting 19th in tonight's event will be Corey England. Starting 20th to his outside is Kevin Malone. The next row, as we are winding down the grid, includes the number 16 of William Long and Jason Van Cleek. Starting 23rd on the inside row is Nick Lancaster. To his outside, we have William Fletcher.
And rounding out the last 2 rows of the field, we have the number 20 of Shane Klein, 25th. And to his outside is the number 02 of Scott Geiswhite. And rounding out the field is the number 17 of David Pollock and number 5 of Bill Tomer.
And we also have cars that have not qualified yet in tonight's event. They will be placed at the back of the grid. So we will get you those names before we drop the green flag here tonight. Obviously a long race under the lights here at Charlotte. Charlotte on iRacing, in my opinion, is one of the best double-grooved tracks you can hang on the outside, and should produce some interesting racing in tonight's event.
Yeah, we also have to mention that the draft comes into play a lot here. Being that cars are always in a tight pack, really you can run, at least for lap 1, you can run pretty much wide open for the most part. And as the run goes on, as people start wearing their tires out, we'll see the draft come into play. We'll see maybe even a different line, maybe the middle. There's a lot of factors that can come into play, but should see a good race here tonight.
Yeah, in practice, saw a lot of loose cars out there. This league is fixed setup based, which means every car is under the same equipment no matter what. And that will definitely create some very close racing here. And anytime you have a loose setup in a car like the Nationwide car, it can take the draft and all the air out of your spoiler, and that can really create some pretty hairy racing, especially on a tight track like Charlotte. And as we continue to wrap up qualifying here, and when we get the grid underway, I guess it's time to make some of our pre-race picks. And starting off at the front of the field, I think one of my best picks has to be the number 9 of Jeff Ramsdell. Starting 5th, he's been in many different races here at Charlotte. He has a lot of experience, and he knows how to keep the car and the wheels under him. So he's my pick for tonight's friend.
Yeah, he'll be one to watch, but I'm looking at 3 drivers right now, and I'm looking right now at our pole sitter, Andrew Fash, who has been fast consistently in this series. I'm also looking at 2 drivers starting in the back, who are known to be pretty fast everywhere they go, and that's Ray Alfalla and Byron Daly. We know what Ray has done in the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship, being a 2-time champion, and Byron joining him in that series. they're two of the fastest guys in iRacing, so we'll see if they can come from 29th and 30th tonight. But I think they're going to be pretty fast and ones to be reckoned with before the end of this.
Speaking of the cars that did not register a qualifying time in qualifying, and the back half of your field will start with 29th. These are the cars, remember, who did not register a time. It will have to come from the back. Starting 29th will be the number 69, as Hoff just mentioned, Ray Alfala. And to his outside, it will be the number 77, a brand new teammate as well, Byron Daly. And the row behind them will be Joe Annunziata and the number 25, Dr. Pepper. Mustang, and to his outside will be the 2 of Travis Finney.
And now the last 2 rows will be the number 40 of Eric Alter, and to his outside will be the number 70 of JD Laird. And behind them, rounding out the field, number 42 of Chris Serkos, and the final car in the field tonight will be the number 89 of Thomas Midier II.
And while we wait for the beautifully new designed iRacing pace car to lead them off here, and these cars will turn 1 lap of pace lap, and then we'll go green 134 laps tonight, and cautions on, of course. A huge field. Usually we might see cautions, we might not. Obviously the In the Zone Racing League is known for its clean racing, and should create a lot of exciting action tonight, as these cars will most likely be double file all the way around this track to start out.
Yeah, this league is known to produce a lot of clean racing, and you know, we've seen it in the past throughout the entire season in the first 8 rounds. I mean, very few cautions. If you fall off early in this race, the history in the league, it's not much opportunity to make it up under caution, being the lack of them. So we'll see how the race goes tonight, but like I said before, it should be a good one, as they're going down to turn 3, and his car almost making its way down the pit road.
Andrew Ferris III in the 157 Twitch and YouTube designed Impala will lead them to the green, and he will have obviously Dustin Lingard to his outside. 2 great drivers leading it off. I know Andrew's been especially fast at Charlotte in anything he's been in, so interesting to see. Pace car pulls off, makes the left-hand turn onto pit road, and we are green as the field is off.
Andrew Ferris III gets a great jump on Dustin Lingard. Going down into turn 1, he's got about a car length lead as they're side by side for second. Jordan Hightower goes under Dustin Lingard. He looks like he will take over that second position for the time being.
Pretty spread out. Everyone tries to get back in line. As you can see, Dustin Lingard did grab that second spot from Jordan Hightower at dark, but Jordan took it right back, and we'll see what Jordan's got here as he's closing quickly on Andrew Fayash.
For the most part, we are single file for the first about 8 cars. Looks like the first battle we got is for that 3rd position. Nope. As I say that, Jordan Hightower will take the lead from Andrew Fayash on lap number 2.
Goes to the inside there, and just a nice, easy pass. Looks like Andrew let him have it there late, coming off the turn 4, and he'll slide in line here, and I guess these guys are just going to try and log some laps here. A very long race, 94 laps.
Yeah, no need to be pushing the envelope now, as Fayash looks like he will try to take the lead back from Jordan, as Jordan will lead this lap. But side by side going down into turn 1. Andrew looks like he will... Well, Jordan's fighting back on the outside, and we mentioned that outside line. As tires wear off, that outside line may come into play.
Yeah, apparently these guys didn't get the memo about riding, as they are 2 by 2 for the lead up here. You also got the number 3 of Brad Patton and Mustang, and these 5, and there's my favorite.
Jordan
Hightower gets in the wall.
And again.
And he's still in the wall. He smacked that one pretty good off 4, got it again in the trial, and the new iRacing damage model, that makes these cars extra fragile, and I have to admit, that car does look pretty badly hurt, and I think Jordan's going to want to caution here sooner or later.
Yeah, that car doesn't look too good right now. We'll see if he can get a caution here in the next few laps to fix it up. Still a long race, so he's got time to fix it up. But as we go back up front, Jeff Ramsdell will take a look under Dustin Lingard and get the spot That is the 3rd position.
And there's a caution in the back half of the field. And this one looks as if it's going to involve the number 41 of Nick Lancaster and number 17 of David Pollock. Looks like the, I think it was the 13 car, Kevin Malone, got loose in front of Nick. Nick checked up and got in the wall a little bit, and David was right under Nick there, and looks like they got together, and David spun around off 4.
Yeah, not much anybody can really do there, the checkup, but looks like Nick's car not too badly damaged. You should be able to get that fixed back up. As for David, maybe not so much.
Yes, got some cars who piled in late. You had the 28 of William Fletcher. He got some damage.
The 02 of Scott Geiswhite, his front end is pretty badly torn up coming into pit road now.
Thomas leader this second, yeah.
So we have pit stops now for the leaders. Andrew Fash will lead them down into pit road, followed by Brad Patton.
Yeah, looks like most of the field is coming. We do see some guys elect to stay out. One of those was Christopher Kurtziel, the number 7. He will take the lead as these guys are on pit road again. 45 miles an hour.
Usually with the tire wear here, you're looking to get tires every single time you can. So I think these guys, pitting right now, just a conservative move, lap 7. Early on in the race, you got plenty of time. So we'll see if this works out. But for the guys that stayed out, they're looking for the track position right now.
Yeah, looks like some other guys trying to grab some track position too. 2 tire stops all across the board, and Andrew Fayash, who was, I believe, our leader at the time, if not second, is still on pit road. So he might have tapped the wall and is getting damage done. But yeah, this really helps Jordan Hightower, who did smack that wall. He's now going to get the chance to come in and fix that damage. So this caution, if benefiting anything, benefited him.
Yeah, that's a huge break for Hightower. We saw what he was doing in the first couple laps there, battling with Fayash. I think if you can get that damage repaired, we might be looking another player for this win, even though it's early on, but we'll have to see what happens. But right now, if we go back up front right now, looks like the leader will be Christopher Kurtzel on the number 7, followed by Chad Coleman, Alan Cryer, Matthew Hicks, and looks like Travis Pinney will round out the top 5. And like we said, all those cars stayed out.
Yeah, trying to find here as the scoring loop resets as these cars come across the line. Trying to figure out who was the first car who did come in. There's plenty of guys here on 2 tires, as you can see. Our leaders who did pit are nowhere near the front. I believe it was the number 11 of Lee Welker might be our first car on 2 tires at least. As we did get the one to green. Little update here, you got the number 69 of Ray Alfala. He's up to 14th. He's bringing his teammate Byron Daly right with him. They are 14th and 15th. They started, remember they did not qualify, and they started in the back, so they've nearly gained 20 spots since 8 laps, so they're definitely going to be up in a hurry. You got guys who've stayed out. 8 laps isn't a lot on these tires, but those guys on 2 tires, I think that was definitely a right call if you're looking for track position.
Yeah. Right now, you want tires, but I think right now you want to set yourself up for track position later on in this race, and taking 2 tires seems like, we'll see if it's the right thing to do, but I think for now it'll be good. As pace car will come in this time. Pace car is in, and Christopher Kurtzel will take off. It's a good jump on Chad Coleman.
Yeah, he got a good jump. Not a lot of people going there. I think it was Cody Welker kind of stalled up the outside line as we see some guys at least trying to get in line here, trying to feel out their cars. Cold tire pressures in Charlotte, always something you got to worry about. As Christopher's quickly being challenged by Chad, he's getting all that benefit from the draft and right on the 7's back bumper into 3.
Single file for the first form. Our first battle is Travis Pinney in the 2, and looks like Austin Atkinson in the 96. That's a battle for 5th.
Yeah, those guys got 2 new fresh right side tires, and they are coming with the fresh rubber. And so all it takes is to get on the inside line, and you can definitely make progress. We're 3 wide off of turn 2.
3 wide on lap 10. Looks like they got out clean. As Travis Pinney, looks like moved up the track a little bit, and Eric Myers will take a look under him. Jeff Ramsell's already gotten by.
Yeah, looks like Christopher Kurtzio got high off before there. Looks like might have got loose, and Chad Coleman takes the lead right away. And now Alan Pryor is trying to take that second spot from Christopher as he has lost the lead here after lap, and they almost touch there, and he has to back out and break for Christopher. We might, and they're going to hang it up there.
Yep, here come those fresh tire guys, Austin and Ramsell. They're up to 3rd and 4th now. As Kurtzel will fight back on the outside, Jeff gets a little bit loose off the apron. Christopher will keep it off the wall, see if he can keep that spot from Jeff. And looks like he will.
Slams the door on Jeff Ramsdell, and definitely these cars and new tires are here and are stalking our 2 leaders as we are single file throughout most of the field at this point.
Yep, not much going on up front here as Chad Coleman continues to lead Alan Cryer. And as I say that, Austin Atkinson will take a look under Alan for the 2nd position. And he will take that spot. Oh, he slides up. Alan looking to do a crossover. See if he can get it done.
Yeah, it looks like got on the gas a little bit too early there. Car didn't want to turn, and he goes up the racetrack. And there goes Alan battling with him, but this is only helping the number 6 of Chad Coleman, your leader, pull away as there goes contact between Austin Atkinson.
Austin Atkinson looks like he... Not sure what happened there. It looks like Alan just slid up into him. As Ramsell will now take a look on Alan. Not going to quite get to him off of turn 4 here, but he's going to get that good run with the draft going into turn 1. And he's going to take a look under Alan for that 2nd position.
Yeah, we almost saw a second contact there with Austin Atkinson as he's still struggling to get down to the inside line, and he's definitely battling back. Now that Jeff has fresh tires, it'll be interesting to see what he can do now that he has Chad Coleman in his sight. It's pretty good that 8 tires can definitely do things as we're on board with the number 31 of Eric Myers here challenging for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Eric was one of those guys that got the fresh rubber, and looks like we have a caution on the track. Trying to see what it was for. It looks like it might be 16 of William Long.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely got together with someone. Kind of hard to tell there. But nonetheless, we are under our 2nd caution here, working lap 17, and after those cars who did take tires, and Jeff Ramsdale, the number 9, was one of them, almost got to the lead. Be interesting to see what these guys do here as they have pretty much the same amount of laps on tires, and it looks like most of this coming.
Chad Coleman will lead them down into pit road. Trying to see if there was anybody who actually stayed out this run. Looks like for the most part everybody's going to take advantage of this caution and come down and get them fresh tires.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see if these guys do take 2. There were some, a lot of cars actually last pit stop that did take 2 as these don't see any 2 tires. Service complete on pretty much everybody else's. We do have, looks like the 84 or the 14, hard to tell there. He took 2, but most of the field is on 4.
And there's a 6 car at Chad Coleman. Looks like he may have sped on pit road. That will cost him dearly. It'll send him to the tail end of the line. Man, that hurts. The previous leader looks like he'll be going back to at least 30th.
Yeah, they registered 30 cars in the late laps. We came across the stripe there. And Bill Brown, who was running 7th, took 2 tires, and he is now regaining the lead. So, interesting strategy call there from him. Looks like Jeff Ramsdale will stay in 2nd spot, but after that, everybody got shuffled off the pit road. And notable guys who made some progress. You got Ray Alfell. I think he's going to line up right around 7th now, so make that 14th to 7th in 7 laps. So he's still here. You got guys like Byron Daly, Travis Finney. He was up there at the start, got shuffled back. Plenty of guys still left up here in this in the top 15 for sure that definitely have a shot to win early on in this race.
Yeah, for sure.
And while we've got time here early on in the race, we'll take our first commercial break. Don't go away. You're watching round 9 of In the Zone Racing League here at Charlotte. Don't go away. Welcome back to round 9 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the In the Zone Racing League, and 1 to green here. Just went off a huge wreck, taking out several cars. And before we go green, we have 4 official retirees. They include David Pollock, Corey England, William Long, and Nick Lancaster. All 4 of those cars are done getting loaded on the trailer, and they are done for the evening. So big disappointment for those guys, but here we are, several other guys still out here ready to go and ready to put on a show. As the green flag is out, Bill Byron is gone.
Bill Brown gets a great jump on the field. He'll pull out to about a 2-car length lead going into turn 1 over Jeff Ramsdale. As Alan Cryer will take a look under Jeff for second here going into turn 1. Coming out of turn 2, Alan Cryer will take over the 2nd spot from Jeff.
And Bill Brown just watching this battle and smiling as his lead continues to grow as Alan does pull in. Guess Jeff just giving it to him early on as these guys are, I guess like you said, riding, but they've been battling for most of this event early on, so interesting to see what these guys are doing as they're in the grass off the Charlotte.
Well, we'll see how Bill Brown hangs up here. As I say that, Alan Cryer will take a look for the lead going into turn 3, and Bill Brown shuts the door on him. But as I was saying, Bill Brown did take those 2 tires, and we saw how many people took 2 on the first round of stops, and we saw how it worked out. So it looks like Bill was paying attention to what was going on and seeing if he can make it work now. As now Alan will take a look for the lead going into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like Bill's a little bit shy with the steering wheel there. His car is loose. Definitely when you're the leader in these cars, you're usually loose anyways, but anytime you take 2 tires, you are super loose, and he's doing a nice job of hanging on to that car, but definitely feeling the effects of being the leader with the loose cars. They almost go through wide.
Yep. Jeff Ramsdell's going to take over the lead here with the help from Austin Atkinson down the front stretch.
That was like a bump trap going into 1, and that's going to give Ramsdell a lead, and that's going to put Austin all the way from 4th to 2nd in 1 straightaway. That was impressive.
And now Eric Myers will take a look under Alan Cryer for 3rd.
And side by side in turn 3, and Eric's been up there in the top 7 most of the night, and he's definitely a threat to win for sure, as Austin is lurking behind Jeff here for the lead. And it looks like we've got a caution on the speedway.
Looks like it was towards the back of the field. Looks like the 94 of Doug Gillard looks like the 56 got spun around, and the 94 just, I guess, didn't see him and ran right into him. Looks like that'll end both of their nights.
Yeah, the number 94's engine just expired going down the backstretch. Unfortunate luck for Doug, and Dustin Lingert has also pulled his car behind the wall, the heavily damaged Pony's car. I know that's a fan favorite to many, and both those cars are done for the night, and very unfortunate for both those guys.
Yeah, just trying to take a look at what happened here. Looks like Dustin got into the back of the 13 of Kevin Malone, and Kevin got loose and smacked the wall, and same thing with Dustin, and the 94 just looks like just didn't see the wreck or something and ran into Dustin. But it looks like all 3 of them, looks like their cars are going to have to be loaded up. They're pretty heavily damaged, as we see as Dustin is retired from the race officially. So he will be heading back to the shop with a broken race car and open a rebound next week.
Many leaders coming in, very surprised. We only had a couple laps, and we got 3 guys staying out, which includes Bill Brown, excuse me. That is the 2nd time he's stayed out, so that's interesting. He will regain the lead yet again. Matthew Hicks in the 66 also stayed out, along with Christopher Kurtziel. And those are the only 3 cars that have stayed out, and the rest of the leaders are on the road.
It is kind of surprising, though, that these guys would pit this soon in the run, being only 3 or 4 laps, but that just shows how much tires mean here.
Yeah, as expected, all those guys coming off pit road are 2 tire stops, and you really don't need left sides after a couple laps here at Charlotte, and should be interesting to see what these guys do now that they have at least a couple lap fresher tires than these guys up front, but interesting to see if that'll make much of a difference. And, well, while we've got some time here, I guess we'll try and bring in Jeff Ramsdell into the booth. Alright, Jeff, Checkered Flag Interactive Broadcast booth, you got me?
I got you.
Awesome. So far early in this race, what do you think about it so far?
I'm having a lot of fun, and competition's high, but Ray, Byron haven't gotten up here yet. Fash decided to go have some fun at the back. He's definitely going to come back up here, and it's going to get a lot harder.
Now, we've seen 2 tire and 4 tire stops, and you now have been on both 4 and 2 tires, 2 fresh tires at least. How big is the difference, if any, between the 2 outcomes?
Well, in my opinion, the setup feels a little tight. So taking 2 tires loosens up the car. It makes it feel better, in my opinion. It can rotate better. Just if you don't have enough, or have too many laps on the tires, it'll just come back to hurt you in a longer run if that comes to happen.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of aero push, which is very common in this B car, especially in packs and drafts. And, definitely that will make 2 tires a thing. But as we get later into this race, what is your strategy? You want to stay up front or just take it easy till the end?
Hopefully I can stay up front, but I'm not going to try and push any insane issues until the final stretch of the race. I don't want to really take any chances on getting wrecked out too early.
Alright, cool. And any last final thoughts before we go green?
No thoughts from the 9 car.
Alright, great to hear. That is the number 9 of Jeff Ramsdale here. He will be restarting in the 5th spot on this restart. As the cars get doubled up, as we are yet again 1 to go.
Well, here we go, pit strategy again. We've seen this throughout the first 30 laps, really. That's been the story of this race. Bill Brown now will lead the field again for the second straight restart. This time, though, staying out on the track. He does have those 2 right side tires that he took 5 laps ago or so. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, definitely. Bill is on the oldest tires of anybody in the field, and he is your leader. So I know definitely this B car or nationwide car, if you want to call it, it's a B car in iRacing. It is increasingly difficult to spin the tires compared to the Cup car or the A car, they call it in iRacing. So we will see if Bill can hang on to the car, but hopefully he will avoid spinning those tires and get a good start here to his advantage and also to the field's advantage. And as we are coming off turn 4, pace car is getting ready to peel down. And we'll go down as Bill lead the entire 28 cars on the lead lap to the green, and he is off clear green, and he is a rocket out of that starting gate.
It's 2 straight starts now that we've seen Bill get out in front like that. That's about 2 car lanes over Matthew Hicks. And looks like Bill is just checked out already. Coming out of turn 2, looks like Matthew Hicks will retain the second position, but the first battle was side-by-side for third between Alan Cryer and Christopher Kurtzel.
It looks like Christopher didn't get going there. Might have been a little bit surprised on how good Bill's start was. And that checked up the entire inside lane and allowed Matthew Hicks to get in there and down to the wall.
3 wide. Christopher Kurtzel on the grab.
3 wide still through the middle. That is dangerous for guys like Jeff Ramsdale. And they are still 3 wide trying to sort it out back here.
Yeah, we saw Matthew Hicks get hard in the wall and everybody just tried to avoid him. And that's basically how the 3 wide got started. But now, looks like the top 3 have settled out, but we had our first battle for 4th with Austin Axon and Jeff Ramsdale.
Yeah, I think that was
some smoke. It looks like Alan Cryer got a little bit loose. 3 wide down the front stretch.
Looks like Austin Axon was in the middle of that, and we got more wrecked. Jordan Hightower in the number 22 has gone around in the front stretch.
That'll bring out the caution. Man, that was an intense 3 or 4 laps there. Somehow they made it out clean, but finally couldn't hang on to it anymore.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan tried to fit it 3 wide in the straight and the trial, excuse me, and it looks like he just ran out of room there. It looks like Shane Klein got into him there and clipped his car around, and that's the second time Jordan's hit the wall hard, and this time it's made his car crab walking. So definitely a tough break for Jordan. He was looking to possibly get back up there, but I think this is all but cooked his cake for the night. But yeah, just going back to that was pretty crazy. We were 3 wide at one point, all the way around the track for an entire lap, and I think it was the 55 car, I couldn't be mistaken. Yeah, Trevor Dalton, he got loose coming off 4. That was the smoke he must have saw off, and looks like that checked the entire field up, and there were guys in the back like Jordan Hightower who didn't check up and had such a huge run and tried to take it, and got wrecked. His leaders are once again on pit road.
Yeah, this time Bill Brown still will stay out, but it looks like the first car to pit will be Christopher Kurtzel in the number 7, followed by Jeff Ramsdell. But yeah, again, very short run, 2, 3, 4 laps. These guys coming in to get tires. It really hasn't affected track position that much, except for Bill Brown, really, who has stayed out again and is the leader. And Eric Myers stayed out along with him.
Yeah, quite a few guys taking 2 here, and that doesn't surprise me, as we once again had a very short run, and I believe that whole brigade is going to be led by Jeff Ramsdell. And he's the first car off pit road with 2 tires. You got Austin Atkinson, Chad Coleman. There's Christopher Kurtzel again. Definitely, most of these guys are on 2 tires as they come off the pit road, but I think there's about 4 or 5 cars who stayed out, so we'll see a similar situation as we saw a little bit earlier in the race.
Yeah, we heard Jeff Ramsdell tell us in the booth here that the setup is a little bit tight, so 2 tires may feel a little bit better to these guys, it makes the car a little bit looser. But like we heard him say also, if they do get a long run here, that may come to hurt him over the long haul, and we may see the guys that took 4 tires in the stop come to life after about 10, 15 laps here.
So you see the 89 Thomas Mitter, as he was actually one of the guys who stayed out originally. It looks like he was just coming in a lap later, so that will burn it down to 3 cars that stayed out. And Bill Brown just I'm just kind of scratching my head at that call. That's, I believe, the 3rd time he's passed up pit road, and everybody's at least, I think, pitted twice behind him. So interesting call there. I think he's trying to take advantage of just that clean air, being the leader.
Yeah. Seems to be working for him. We've seen the last 2 restarts, he's gotten out to a pretty good lead going into turn 1. See if Eric Myers now will take his turn at him to see if he can hang with him going into 1. But yeah, I believe that is the 3rd time that Bill has passed on pit road. Let's see if his tire wear comes into effect anytime soon.
Yep. Definitely for sure. And as these cars are 2 to green, we'll go 2 to green. We'll take our second commercial break. Don't go away. You are watching round 9 of the In the Zone Racing League. We are back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the In the Zone Racing League here, round 9 of this event. And what we did not mention before is that this is 2 races to go now before In the Zone Racing League does have their chase point system in effect. So all those drivers who are battling for those last spots to get into the chase definitely have some work to do in these last 2 races as the pace car pulls off. Bill Brown, who did pass up pit road 3 times now, will lead them off to green. And he gets a good start, but a huge checkup in the back half of the field around Brad Patton almost caused a huge wreck, but definitely got some cars with damage at the start of that.
Yeah, not sure how many cars have damaged, but looks like there might be a few after that.
Yeah, it definitely looked hairy. It looked, maybe Brad Patton might have missed a shift or just wasn't to pay attention or the car didn't go. I don't know what it was, but the whole field went and he didn't. That almost created chaos as almost going to have a battle for the lead as Eric Myers has caught Bill Brown.
Yeah, this is the first time we've really seen in about 20 laps now that Bill Brown has been challenged for this lead. As Eric Myers gets a little bit...
Yeah, he gets loose there as Austin Atkinson's looking underneath Travis Finney for the third spot. I guess it's the battle if we get to the cars on older tires first. And Austin does complete the pass. So he will look to do, but Bill obviously is out there on the oldest tires. How he is still commanding this field lead is very impressive. Especially as the fuel wears out in this car, that will become gradually tighter and tighter. So Bill's doing a great job here on the oldest tires in the field.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's been about 20 laps since he's been on the road. Eric Myers he's probably got about 5 laps fresher, so he still hasn't been able to get past him. So Bill is doing a very nice job hanging out front here, but we'll see how long that lasts. Now it looks like we're gonna have a battle for second. Austin Atkinson trying to reel in Eric Myers, as Austin is on the fresher tires and Eric and Bill are on the older tires.
Yeah, definitely some of these guys just taking their patience, as most of the field is single file as they come down to complete lap 40, coming on lap 41. Still a very long time to go in this race. We still have over 90 laps as Austin is definitely lurking on the inside bumper, or the outside bumper, excuse me, of Eric Myers.
And Travis Finney will take a look now going into turn 3 under Austin Atkinson. Doesn't look like he's going to get it done this time. So he'll slide in behind Atkinson, and that will allow Ramsdell and Chad Coleman to catch back up.
Yeah, the more battling these cars do for the third and fourth spot, the more time you're giving Bill Brown and Eric Myers to pull away. And when your car's on older tires, that's pretty much the best thing you can see. Is those cars with fresher tires getting smaller in your wheel, and can be quite surprising, but that's just how the draft really can affect you at this track.
You're also seeing another name come into this pack, and that's Ray Alfala. We talked about him earlier in the race, making his progress well. He's up to the 7th position right now, and I don't know if there's any stopping him right now. He's reeling these guys pretty fast, so we'll see if he can get by him.
Yeah, last time I checked, he's gained 22 spots, so by far our biggest mover on the in the evening so far. He is looking to crack that top 10. Top 5, excuse me. Jeff Ramsdell gets in the wall there, and see how that affects his car.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard lick for the 9. That may affect his car. We'll have to see here, but he's still hanging in there, so we'll see if he can stay in the top 10.
Had a huge stack up after that as most of the cars trying to go by Jeff there. As a lot of them dove to the inside, and that put Ray in the outside, and Ray goes right around.
Wow.
The 6th, Chad Coleman.
That was an impressive pass on the outside there by Ray Alfala over Chad Coleman.
See Brad Pat, he's trying it. Is he strong enough to do it? And Coleman gets loose, and there goes Coleman.
Big wreck.
It's Jeff Rams. LePagers. They are still LePage. Oh my God! It's Hatfield, folks. We'll give you a minute to sort it out. And yes, it has been Byron Daly and Jeff Ramsdell, the 2 notable guys in that wreck. Jeff is destroyed. We have plenty of other cars that have pretty much met death. So that was a tough wreck, but what I saw was Chad Coleman get loose.
That was an absolutely huge wreck there. We'll try to take a look at what happened here. I think it did start though, yeah, with Chad Coleman getting a little bit loose.
And you
Looks
know
like
what? Yeah.
looks like he hit the apron, and Byron Daly just had nowhere to go once he did that, and got into the back of him. And then Jeff had nowhere to go, and then here comes Alan Cryer, Christopher Kurtzel. Be the 01 get into Ramsdale there. That is the Jason Van Cleek. More cars. Eric Altier was involved. Looks like Shane Klein was involved. There are multiple cars involved in this wreck.
Man, looking back at this, I don't know if we can get an onboard of this, but look, I have to get the Allstate Good Hands Driver Award, as they used to call it, to Andrew Fash. He was right in front of this wreck, and he drives right through the middle of at least 3 spinning cars and hangs on. I don't think he touched anybody, and he got right through the center of the storm, and he is going to be just fine. That was an incredible drive by Andrew Fash, using some of those road driver skills to get right through the middle of that wreck.
Yeah, it looks like, not sure if he really got into Ramsdale there. That was a very impressive job by Andrew to get by that wreck. He should be okay. So he has made his way back into the top 10.
Yeah, there are so many cars on pit road, it's not even funny getting damage repair, or at least that have retired.
Yeah.
Jason Van Cleek and Byron Daly are 2 that have retired from this race.
Looks like, while we were discussing the wreck, it looks like we had round of pit stops here. Looks like Cody Welker stayed out, but he looks to be coming down pit road this time. But looks like the leader of this race is going to be the 96 of Austin Atkinson. As
Yeah,
well,
don't look,
the 69,
don't look now. Yeah.
The 69 of Rail Fowle also stayed out.
Just gonna say that, there you go. From 29th to 2nd, Rail Fowle is up there now in 2nd. Most of these guys who were up front are still up front after those cycle of pit stops, so I guess somewhat good for Bill Brown because he gets new tires and fuel, but somewhat bad at the same time as he lost 6 spots. In doing that, he lost the lead, but still a long way to go here as we're working lap 48 of 134.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works out. I mean, that was the longest run of the night. We'll have to see if the staying out strategy will affect Atkinson and Alfala, but most part it looks like everybody came up here road, took 4 tires. But like we said, that wreck took out a lot of people.
Yeah, Alan Cryer has pulled it behind the wall. Eric Alter has pulled it behind the wall. It's not even, as I said before, it's not even funny how many cars are just absolutely destroyed. This was a simple hit the apron self-spin gone wrong, and this is going to take out at least 5 cars, if not more, with severe damage after that pileup.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there that just had nowhere to go. But yeah, simple self-spin, checkup started that entire wreck, and it was on from there.
And see a couple of our picks there kind of got taken out. Jeff Ramsdale looks like he is pretty much, he's still out there, he's still soldiering on, but that car is probably one of the worst looking cars, at least still on the racetrack. And that's going to be a handful to drive for him, but I believe we're going to have about 20 cars on the lead lap to start this run. We had 36 start this race, so almost half the field has been involved in some kind of huge wreck here, as these guys are now down the backstretch on this one to go pace. Also, another driver to point out, seems like he was kind of taking it easy early on in the race, and now all of a sudden he's just outside the top 10. That's the number 4, Case Brinksma. He was in, I believe, 30th after our first caution, and he got into, I believe, the second caution that involved William Long, and he's back up here, what I believe, with fixed car and just outside the top 11, and that goes the same for many of these guys. Is new life for some of these guys who were in the back half of the field as we're getting ready to take the green flag. And Austin Atkinson is gone, and good start from everybody, no checkups. These guys will get single files as we head into one. Single file action all through the field as looks like Travis Finney trying to get underneath Bill Brown there for the 5th spot. I believe Bill got a good start, was able to get around him, but now Travis is retaking that spot as Ray Alfala is challenging for the lead off.
Yeah, we saw Ray running in 2nd spot, but here comes Brad Patton under Eric Myers. That is for the 3rd position.
Now, it wasn't too long ago we saw Brad Patton trying to hang on to a car that did not go on the restart, and he's lucky he still got a car, as now here comes Ray for the lead. And he will take it smooth as silk, goes through 3 and 4, gets it, and Austin Atkinson gets loose. And that's going to allow Ray to break a couple car lengths as Brad Patton now looking for the 2nd spot.
Oh, Bragg is a little loose.
Almost saw the same thing happen again. And that apron has been just evil, I would say, so far in this race. A lot of cars hitting it, and only one of them has actually gone around. That was I give Brad Patton a lot of credit for saving that car. Now it believes looks like Austin drove it in there, trying to hang on there, and I believe he got loose. And that's going to allow Brad Patton to go underneath for the 2nd spot. Is that's only going to help Ray break away his lead now.
Austin hanging tough there on the outside with those old tires, but as this is happening, Ralph Al is slowly getting away.
And they are side by side. There goes your multi-groove racing. Part of Charlotte's a great track, and allows cars in battles like this to happen, and it's providing just a great race so far, and these guys are pretty much dead even.
Yeah, that middle groove is starting to come in a little bit with the tire wear, but so we now have, looks like Brad has cleared Austin. It looks like Brad might have tapped the wall a little bit.
Maybe just a little bit. There is a bump coming off the 2 that does kind of skew your car. It can scare you for a little bit just on personal experiences, but really the goal tonight really has just been to keep the car off the wall, and you'll be just fine. And see if these guys continue to do it here. It's like I said before, there is still a long way to go in this race.
Indeed, we have just under 80 laps to go.
Yeah, it looks like there is about 7 cars that are still on pace to at least win this race. Many other cars have damage or are just a little bit off the pace. These front 7 are currently your leaders, as I would say, as they are pretty much the only cars left to contend for the win. And looks like it's single file all around the track. Starting to see some of that draft come in. You can suck up to a guy on the straightaway, but if that car in front of you is faster, you definitely cannot hang with them in the turns. As you can see, Brad dive it down in there, and he can get up to Ray, but as you can see, he actually gets to the back bumper of Ray there. Got through 1 and 2 better than I thought he would, and he's actually gone. Now he's going for the lead.
Yeah, Brad not gonna quite get there. He's gonna lose a little bit of ground actually, but like you said, that draft's starting to come into play, and he's sucking up to Ray, but doesn't look like he can get around him.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of internet connection problems there on Brad Patton. kind of scared us for a little bit. All of a sudden he goes from wall to inside Ray, and he took turn 3 a little bit aggressive there. We'll see what he does now. Turn 3.
Yeah, you gotta give it though to Ray Alfala and Austin Atkinson. They did stay out, and they're pretty much hanging with these guys who are on fresh tires, so it doesn't seem like the tire wear is too bad tonight, and it's showing right now.
Yeah, Brad's just about half a tenth quicker than Ray that last time by, so he's definitely getting the beneficiary of the draft, or the benefit of the draft, and see these top 5 are starting to break away, and really the top 5, some of these guys have tires, some of these guys don't, so interesting to see, like you said before, on how the long run affects these guys with the fresher tires compared to guys like Austin Atkinson with the still the older tires on.
Yeah, this is the point in the race really where we might see that one long green flag run, about 30 laps or so, as we wind down the race. It's going to get a little bit interesting, I think, with the pit strategy and all. We've seen 2, we've seen 4, we've seen people stay out. Be interesting to see if there was another caution right now, what the strategy would be, but like you said, we have the top 5 breakaway, and then Andrew Fash basically trying to reel them in 6th place.
As they go around lap error, I do believe that is actually William Fletcher, the number 26. So that car several laps down, actually just kind of logging laps there in 24th place. But like I said before, the top 5 are starting to break away. You're actually seeing Brad Patton and Ray Alfala start to actually break away from that group. So now it's a 2-car breakaway for the lead up.
Side by side for the 3rd position right now. Eric Myers is taking a look under Austin Atkinson. See if you can get it done going down to turn 3. Eric hits the apron a little bit. Slides up, so does Austin. It looks like Eric will take the 3rd spot, and Bill Brown looks like he may take the 4th spot away. And he will do it. So drop Austin back to 5th and move Eric and Bill up 1 spot. And now that'll allow Andrew Fash to catch back up to this pack. So now we got a 4-car little pack going from 3rd to 6th.
Yeah, it looks like Austin with those older tires could hang his...
Oh, we have a problem for Ray Alfala.
Ray's got a problem. He's coming. I think he's coming to pit road.
Yeah, I just looked up and saw Ray Alfala just duck down on the apron.
He's coming to pit road. Here he comes. He's coming in hot too. Something's up. I don't know what it is. He's pulling off. He's retired from the race. Ray Alfala has just quit. Interesting.
Not sure what happened there, but we'll have to see what happened later. But right now, back to the race. Brad Patton is now the leader by almost a second over Eric Myers. Very interesting scenario that just happened, but
I'm pretty sure Brad Patton is speechless. But nonetheless, he is leading by almost half a second. Almost a second, actually. He's got over a half-second lead, and well, that changes everything. You got plenty of cars running around here damaged, and Brad's out here with a lead, and he's pretty much coasting right now. Or cruising.
As we are closing in on the halfway point, I believe this lap will be halfway through this race. So, a little halfway rundown. Go through the lead lap cars at least. Running first right now, as we said, is Brad Patton, followed by Eric Myers in 2nd, Bill Brown in 3rd, Andrew Fash in 4th, Austin Atkinson in 5th.
Running 6th, the number 2 Travis Finney. He's falling off the pace. He's 3 seconds off the lead. I don't think that car's got some damage. You got 7th, Todd Guerin. We haven't really talked about him. 8th, you got the 25 Dr. Pepper Mustang, Joe Annunziata. Love that scheme. In 9th, you got Matthew Hicks, and your top 10 is Cody Walker currently.
Running 11th is the number 5 of Bill Tomer. Haven't spoken much about him, but it looks like he's hanging in there. Also haven't spoken much about the 12th place running car of Case Brinksma. Running 13th is the number 70 of J.D. Laird. Running 14th is the number 99 of Scott Rutherford. And rounding at the top 15 will be Thomas Midier, the 2nd, in the number 89.
Chris Circos, the number 42, is running 16th, but half a lap off the pace. Yeah, Coleman clipped the apron and was pretty much the cause of that last big wreck. Is still out there in 17th. He's a good 19 seconds off the lead. Trevor Dalton, the 55, is the last car on the lead lap currently in 18th. And then in 19th, you got Kevin Malone, but he is 4 laps off the pace. So it's pretty much an 18-car show at this point.
Yeah, unless looks like there's only about 19 cars running. I think we still have Christopher Kurtzel, William Fletcher, and Jeff Ramsall running. They were 3 of the cars, I believe, that were involved in that big wreck there about 15 laps ago. But we have the lucky dog rule now, so it looks like, unless we get a lot of cautions, it looks like it's going to be an 18-car battle to the finish, it looks like, on the lead lap. But meanwhile, as we were going through that, looks like Brad Padden has kept his lead now over Bill Brown.
Yeah, it looks like he's keeping stationary, at least with that gap. It's pretty much about 7.5 tenths back to Bill Brown. He's doing a great job in second, but we went green with about, I believe, 85 laps to go, and this car you could probably turn a good 45 to 50 laps here at Charlotte, so it will be close, but I do believe most of these guys can come in and make a one-stop, and actually make it a one-stop race, so I don't think there'll be much worry. I guess it depends on just coming in at the right time and putting enough fuel in the car, which of course is always essential. At 1.5 miles, this pit road is only 45 miles an hour, so we'll definitely see that play into factor here as this run winds down.
Yeah, right now it looks like Brad Padden is the class of the field, but we have also seen throughout the night Bill Brown has led this race at many points, including when he stayed out those 3 cautions, and we saw how much of a jump he got. And now that he's basically on pace with everybody else, pit strategy-wise, he's still showing that he's got a fast car tonight, running in second spot, and looks like running down Brad Padden a little bit. Also, we have to mention Eric Myers and Andrew Fash in third and fourth. They have also had strong runs tonight. We saw Andrew barely get through that big wreck, and Eric has really been up front all night, so we'll see if any of these 4, or 3, I should say, second or fourth, can run down Brad and maybe compete with him for this win.
Yeah, definitely. If it comes down to anything, these guys are pretty much the same on speed. It's going to come down to that one pit road stop you're going to have to make coming into pit road and coming out. The last thing you want to do is get hit with a speeding penalty, especially coming off pit road. That can be pretty much the worst penalty, is you'd have to come all the way around and then come back into pit road. So these guys can at least stay stationary with each other through their pit stops. It'll come in favor of Brad Padden, but he's definitely in the hot seat if he makes a mistake on pit road. And while we are under green and cars running around single file, we'll take a break. You're watching round 9 of the... Yeah, we're watching round 9. We'll be back. Welcome, of course, back to round 9 of the In the Zone Racing League here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Currently working lap 81. Coming on to lap 82 as we are expecting green flag pit stops anytime soon at this point. And all of a sudden we've seen Brad Patton sustain his lead. Now he's building on that lead. He's pulling away from Bill Brown. He's up to almost a second and a half now over Bill, and Bill has about a half a second lead on Eric. So this field is spreading out, and Brad's up cruising, like I said before, and pretty easy race.
Yeah, not much work that Brad Patton's really having to do right now around other cars. Only cars he's really having to deal with right now are the lap traffic. Yeah, he is pulled out to 1.3 seconds over Bill Brown. Looks like Brad, I mean, still got a long way to go, but looks like if you're going to win this race, looks like you're going to have to beat Brad tonight. Looks like he's class of the field right now.
10th and a half that last lap. Interesting to see if some of these guys might short pit and try and get in front of Brad on pit road, and maybe try and force the hand of Brad to come down earlier than he wanted, and that could definitely screw up a guy's race, and we'll have to see here as these guys are probably within 15 laps of coming down the road.
I believe that stops have already started, at least for Austin Atkinson in the 96. Looks like he is. Not sure if he came down pit road or had a problem. I believe yes, he did come down pit road the last lap. So there you go. Green flag stops have started.
Yeah, Travis Penny pulls down the number 2, and like I said, these guys starting to maybe try and get some ground back by short pitting. Short pit, maybe get a caution later in the run, might help them steal some track position, and we'll see if this does force the hand of our leaders. So you got the top 4 up there. You know, right now the class of the field. So the longer they stay out, the more ground they lose to those guys with the pressure tires. See directly in front of our leader as they are about to put Chad Coleman a lap down.
Yeah, we saw Chad, like we said, he was basically right in the middle of all that mess that we saw for the last caution, but doesn't look like he'll be coming away with the win tonight unless he gets a caution or lucky dog or pit strategy or something. That car is not hanging in very well right now, as it looks like Brad will lap him. So that will put 14 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah, as we did know before, 2 guys have made pit stops, and that is Travis Penny and Austin Atkinson, so they will recycle in the lead lap whenever green flag pit stops recycle, and so far those are the only 2 drivers who have made the early pit entry, and like I said before, maybe trying to short pit and get that extra couple seconds maybe on the track. It's really all you have at this point if you don't think you have the car that can win the race, and just as dominant as Brad Patton is being, it's definitely a tall task to come up against.
Yeah, it looks like right now we have, basically it looks like the top 4 within 3 seconds of each other, and then we have Matthew Hicks in 5th, running 10 seconds back of Brad Patton. So we have a pretty wide margin between 4th and 5th right now. So looks like we got a battle for 5th at least. We have Matthew Hicks and Joe Annunziata in the 25. So we have a good battle here for the top 5 spot right before pit stops.
Yeah, definitely we'll see what these guys can do. These guys have had pretty clear races, and it seems as if they really haven't had any problems. Kept their cars relatively clean, and that's how you score points. You just go out there and avoid all the wrecks and really do the best you can to stay up front, and these guys are a great example of that.
We're on board in the gyro cam with the 25 of Joe Annunziata, currently in the 6th position. So far he's basically hanging with Matthew Hicks in the 66. Looks like maybe just trying to catch a little draft and play it safe until the final pit stop here in a few laps. Doesn't look like he's got many scratches on the car, if any, so like we said, he's been one of the guys tonight who's just kept his nose clean, and looks like he may come away with a good finish.
Yeah, it's kind of riding the draft to the 66 of Matthew Hicks, and just stay in that draft. That'll eventually help you. And looks like Andrew Bash just made a pit stop, and looks like Eric Myers is on pit road too this time.
So now we really have the green flag pit stop starting us out as 2 of our top 4 cars come down. It looks like our leader, Brad Patton, will pit this time, trying to get that car slowed down to 45 miles an hour. Looks like he will do it, and Brad will come to the attention of his pit crew.
Yeah, definitely forced the hand. Many cars coming in now, and it is green flag pit stop time. They're trying to cut this run in half at about 40 laps, or about 40 to 42 laps. To make it, they will make it for sure on fuel. They'll have a couple laps to spare as well. So everything looking clean for Brad Patton. Nothing big, anything that could disturb his run to lead. We should see as here comes Bill Brown this time by, pitting 1 lap later, and he gets onto pit road. Very good.
Now we'll have to see when this all cycles around as Brad leaves the pits. Remember now, Austin Atkinson and Travis Pinney both did short pit. So we'll see how much time they gained out of this. Saw Austin was pretty fast coming out of the pits, and so was Travis. So as Brad merges, we'll see where they end up. And looks like as the battle, looks like Brad will come off pit road. He will be waiting for timing and scoring, I believe, still in the top 10, but this all cycles around. It looks like Bill Brown may still be in the 2nd position, followed by Eric Myers will be in 3rd. Looks like Andrew Fash will be in 4th, and Austin Atkinson gained a little bit of ground, but doesn't look like it's going to help him much by short pitting there. He's still going to be running in the 5th position.
See some of these other guys just trying to stay out maybe as long as they can, maybe catch a caution, force the mistake of another driver. As the number 35 with Todd Guerin and Scott Rutherford with 99, and the only 2 cars that have not pitted yet, and I guess they're going for broke and trying to catch a late race caution as we see Andrew Fayesh almost got his apron.
We also should mention now, Brad Patton will not be the leader when this cycles around. Bill Brown has gone down in front of him, coming off pit road, and that is a very, very big advantage for Bill, being that he pitted 1 lap later. Now he's got about a 2nd lead over Brad. This may help Bill a lot. Fresh tires do mean everything, and even if it's 1 lap, so we'll see. Brad has been the dominant car the last few laps, or the last several laps, so we'll see if he can reel him back in. As it looks like this may be the battle for the win, coming down less than 40 laps to go now.
And, well, you might not believe this, but 2 words for the number 84, and that is 2 tires. 84 did take 2 tires that time, and he's pretty much opened it up almost 2.5 seconds now on Brad Patton. If Bill can keep those left sides relatively okay and avoid the effects of having worn out left sides and keep up his speed, he will definitely, I think, win this race, because there's no way I think Brad Patton can catch him a 1/10 a lap for almost 30 laps. That is a long distance to cover. So if this turns out to be the race for the win and Bill wins, that'll definitely be the call of the race. 2 tires on that green flag stop.
Yeah, that is a very risky move, but might be rewarding at the same time for Bill Brown. But as for Brad, I mean, he's basically, all he's got to do is really run his race, see if he can reel him in. I mean, he's going to have to hope Bill makes a mistake, though, like you said. He's got Bill's got almost a 2-second lead now on Brad, and I mean, yeah, like you said, about 30 laps to go. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to reel him back in. So he's going to have to hope for a mistake by Bill.
If Bill just put 2/10 on Brad, that just goes to show you how valuable those 1 lap fresher right sides are. And I mean, I think Bill's kind of figured it out that with this setup, you can still take only 2 tires, and the left sides will not affect your handling, at least on the short run. We still got 135 laps to go in this race. By all means, Brad's not out of it, but definitely that could definitely change it up. JD Laird almost goes around in front of your leader.
Yeah, that was very close for our leader there. Bill Brown still is running in the third position as we still have, looks like, 2 cars that have yet to pit. Looks like Scott Rutherford and Todd Guerin have yet to pit. Looks like Todd will come down this time, number 35. He will get his slow down to pit road speed and come down this time. But that should cycle around. Scott Rutherford is also in the pits, so that should cycle around to Bill Brown and Brad Patton being 1-2. So, let's see how this works now. We're coming down to 33 to go.
Yeah, so Brad get loose off of turn 3 the lap before that, and that allowed Bill to put another 2/10 on Brad Patton, and that's pretty much up to 2.5 seconds of a lead now. That is huge for Bill Brown. He can afford to lose about 1/10 a lap, a little bit less, and he will still win this race. So as he goes around the lap car, all he has to do is just hit his marks and stay consistent. He's got a good chance to do it.
Yep, now timing and scoring is officially given Bill Brown the lead now, followed by Brad Patton will be second out, 2.1 seconds back, then Eric Myers in third, 3 seconds back. Andrew Fash the third will be 4 seconds back in fourth, and rounding out the top 5 will be Austin Atkinson, who is now 6.6 seconds back of our leader. So, I mean, there's a wide gap between first and second, but really from second to third and third to fourth, I mean, it's only a second between each of them, so one slip up and we may see possibly a 3-car battle for second.
Yeah, it definitely might have the effects of short pitting. Austin Atkinson and Travis Finney, both of them did short pit with the first 2 cars to come down, and really only works if you get a caution or if it's at toward the end or the later part of the race, and I think they're going to kind of suffer in this last part of the race, and having the oldest tires out of anybody on the racetrack, and they're just trying to hang on at this point.
And we
Actually,
see
that lap, yeah, we did see Brad Patton cut the gap a little.
Yeah, that's really all Brad's really got to do now. There are 30 to go, 29 this time, but Brad keeps down the lead by about 10th now. That time it was 10th and a half, so we see Brad cut this lead down. We are going to see a really good battle for this win.
Yeah, I think those left sides that Bill did not take are starting to wear a little bit, especially at Charlotte. Personal experiences, you leave those left sides out there for at least 70 plus laps, it can definitely make our lose grip later in the run, and especially in the turns. You makes your car tighter, and especially when you have it set like all these guys are running tonight, it can become very tough. The driver to continue to turn those lap times needs to turn to keep the lead, and that's allowing Brad with those Ford tires and the newer left sides to catch up a little bit. But I think the question is going to be, can he catch him in time?
Yeah, we're going to have to see if that'll happen. But right now, Bill Brown leading this race, and right in between Brad and Bill is a lap car of Scott Rutherford in the 99. Now, he just pit about 5 laps ago, so he definitely has fresher tires than Bill and Brad. So, we'll have to see if he gets by Bill here. Pretty sure Bill would just let him go, being the fresh tires, but doesn't look like Scott is going to get to him. But as Bill, that time, his lead was cut to about a half a tenth that time by Brad. See this time now, it looks like that is another half a tenth by Brad Patton. Now the lead is down to 1.7 seconds for Bill Brown.
At this point, he will not catch Bill. He's going to have to get a break. There is the 4 of Case Brinksma, lap car in front of Bill. If he does catch him quick enough, he might lose more ground, and that might be Brad's best friend is these lap cars. But at the same time, to Bill, Brad's also going to have to go through here. So definitely could see lap cars change the effect of this race as the race nears toward the later concluding part.
Yeah, I think that another tenth that Brad Patton has cut into Bill Brown's lead. There's now a 1.6 second lead for Bill Brown as we have 25 to go, coming to 24 this time. As we see Bill lap the heavily damaged car of Jeff Ramsell and about to lap the number 4 of Case Brinksman.
Case does give way, and that only helps Bill as he goes right on by, and Brad has cut it down to a second and a half, but at the same time now Brad is experiencing heavy lap traffic. He'll get around Jeff Ramsell, but he still has 2 lap cars present in front of him before he can even get to the back bumper of Bill Brown, so still a long way to go for Brad if he's going to want to go get this one.
And we just have to wonder how long are those left side tires going to last for Bill Brown. If they're going to actually last the entire run, or if they're going to start giving out. We're starting to see Brad Patton consistently cut a 10th into Bill Brown's lead. At this point, it's going to be a matter of time till Brad gets there, but again, is he going to run out of time, or can Brad keep this up and get there?
Yeah, in the 15 laps that they have been out on the track, Brad has cut just about a second out of Bill's lead, and really all he can hope for is just to continue to do that. As there's another 10. If he continues to catch him at this right now, a 10th a lap, he will get to Bill, but like I said, he does have those 2 lap cars to get through first.
And we should also mention that the draft comes into play, and Brad is getting the draft off those 2 cars in front of him. Regardless of the speed, the draft does come into play, so Brad is getting that extra, probably about half a tenth with the draft down the straightaways. And that time, Brad will cut about another 10th into Bill Brown's lead, so we'll now make it a 1.1 second lead for Bill.
Riding on board with the number 3 of Brad Patton as you get a clear look of the 2 lap cars in front of him, and there is the gap to the 84 of Bill Brown, and that's driver's view. All you got to do is go get it, and Brad's definitely got the talent to do it. We'll see if he can as he gets through Case pretty smoothly. Say that was exactly what Brad needed to do there, and they're actually catching an even slower lap car up here. Lap cars passing lap cars, very ugly situation for Brad right in front of him.
Yeah, definitely not what Brad Patton wants right now is 2 lap cars battling each other, but looks like he'll catch the 55 of Trevor Dalton. He will get by smooth, as well as he will get by the 99 of Scott Rutherford pretty easily, so we now see that he's got clear track in front of him to Bill Brown, so we'll see. And see if Brad can catch him.
Yeah, he's just got, I believe, 18 laps now before he can get there, so it's definitely going to be a challenge. If he encounters any more lap traffic, I do not believe there's any in proximity of Bill Brown, so we'll have to see what he can do with these older left sides I said before. And it's like so far they're staying stationary once again.
Yeah, the next lap car these guys will catch would be Bill Tomer, but he looks to be about 5 seconds in front of Bill, so it doesn't look like they'll catch him here in the last 17 or 16 laps here. So we'll see if, like we said, it's game on from here. 17 to go, and Brad and Bill head to head. See who's got the faster car here at the end.
Yeah, that time Bill actually pulled Brad by about half a tenth, maybe give or take a little, and that's what Brad's got in front of him. He's just got Bill directly in front of him. There's no lap cars around him, and it's really up to Brad at this point if he can close the gap.
You gotta also wonder if Bill Brown maybe was saving a little bit with knowing that he took 2 tires. Maybe trying to save a little bit of those tires to have some at the end here to race Brad for the win. As Brad cuts another 10th into Bill Brown's lead, so now it is less than a second. About 9.5 tenths.
And he just continues to sniff and sniff and sniff that draft another 10th. And once you get in that draft, it's draft lock. And you might see him catching rapidly here. 15 laps to go. We've asked for pretty much Well, we can't ask for anything more. Got a great battle of the lead setting to happen here as we close in on 14 to go this time.
Yeah, we've seen pretty much everything here tonight. Pit strategy, we've seen big wrecks, we've seen a lot of action. We've seen side-by-side racing really all night. It's been a pretty good race, and for it to come down to this, it's a pretty fitting ending.
There you go, a 10th and a half from Brad Patton. He's in the draft. And he's smelling it. He's got his in front of him, but he doesn't have a lot of time. 13 to go, coming to 12 this time. Can Brad? That's the ultimate question. Get over.
Yeah, we'll see if Bill has been saving anything and see if he can pull away here, as they are going to be encountering another lap car that looks like to be Jeff Ramsdell again in the heavily damaged 9 machine. Looks like he is going to... He's going to give way to Bill. See if that affects Brad's entry. Doesn't look like he's going to affect him that much. As they're coming now to 12 laps to go. We also should mention, while these two are battling up front, Andrew Fayesh has gotten by Eric Myers for the 3rd position, so move Andrew up to 3rd and move Eric back to 4th, but other than that, there's really no change here in the top 10. As they are now coming down to 11 to go, and the lead is cut down yet again, less than a half a second between Bill Brown and Brad Patton.
Back there again, and looks like Brad is now within half a second.
And that is another half a tenth that Brad has cut into the lead. So now it's almost less than 4/10. Like I said before, this is a pretty fitting ending to the way this race has been. We've seen a great race here tonight. As now we have 10 to go. Coming to 9 to go this time, so less than 10 to go.
And now Brad's really got that draft. There's, like I said, 9 to go, and all he's got to do is just hit his marks. He's got Bill right in front of him, so it's really going to be up to Brad to decide his fate in this race.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Brad is only 3/10 back now. That draft comes into it plays a huge role when you're that far back. 3/10 back in draft, that's huge. As we see Brad get a little bit twitchy off of turn 4.
Yeah, you can tell he's trying. He's just getting a little bit anxious. You can tell it in his driving. He's just trying, but I mean, he's so close. Really, just comes down to not letting the emotions get the best of you and just catching him there. It looks like he got a great run off of 2, and he is coming. That's for sure.
And we saw at the beginning of the run that Brad Patton was more than 2.5 seconds back of Bill Brown. It all comes down to this now, as we come across the line for 7 laps to go. As now Brad is still 3/10 back.
And they're still staying even pretty much. Coming close to about 7 to go here is... I think these guys are pretty much equal out, and I think Bill is starting to pull Brad a little bit.
You gotta wonder if Brad wore out his tires trying to catch Bill. Brad may just, worn the tires off of his car and is starting to show a little bit. He's not really reeling in Bill that much anymore, as it seems to be stabilizing. As they will be coming to 5 to go this time. Looks like Brad is giving everything he's got to catch Bill. Not sure if it's going to be enough as they come down to 5 to go.
And it just looks like Brad's losing ground lap by lap, and I think he used all 4 tires up on that car, and It's a tough flag about Brad, but I think you got to go back to the beginning when they made that pit stop, that green flag pit stop. Bill looked like he got into pit road a little bit better than Brad did, and I think that's ultimately going to be the difference in the race. And like I was talking about before, you can win or lose this race on pit road, and I think Bill Brown just won.
We should also mention now again, right in front of Bill Brown, really about, looks like 2-3 seconds ahead of him. They are quickly approaching some lap cars here, and it's a pretty good pack, 3 or 4 cars. You gotta wonder if that's gonna affect them here. As they come to 3 to go, we'll see if Bill gets these lap cars and see if Brad can reel them in any.
Nasty Brad loses about a half a tenth, a little bit more, give or take. That time by, and really, if you're Bill, all you got to do, even if you do get lap traffic, is just hit your marks. Brad's going to have to find a way around you if you do get there. But coming at 2 to go this time, and doesn't look like Bill's holding back any right now. He's got that car dialed in at this point.
Yeah, Bill Brown takes 2 to go. Doesn't look like Brad's going to have enough time to catch him, or he's not reeling him in anymore, so... Looks like as long as Bill hits his marks here, it looks like Bill Brown may take on this win as Brad will hit the wall coming off too.
Yeah, that pretty much cooked the goose, and that will be the end of Brad Patton's run for the win, at least as long as Bill can keep all 4 tires on that car for one more lap. White flag is in the air, and got one left to go.
Bill Brown will make his way past the damaged car of Jeffrey Hensel again for one last time to turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch.
Coming into turn 3, it's been all Bill Brown at parts in this race, but one call on pit road to pit a lap early and to get up time. Bill Brown is going to win round 9 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and just was pursued hard by Brad Patton, but yeah, Brad just didn't have enough there at the end.
Yeah, we saw Brad reel him in, like we said, more than 2.5 seconds back. We saw Brad reel him in to less than 4 tenths, and just looked like once he got to that point, it just looked like it stabilized, and either Bill's car started to come in, or Brad did drive the tires off of his car, so either way, it was a really good race.
And as we see Bill come to the finish line, he will do his post-race celebrational burnout. We're going to step away. You're watching round 9 of In the Zone Racing League here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Don't go away from post-race interviews. Welcome back to round 9 of In the Zone Racing League's race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and a lot of crazy racing tonight. 134 laps under the night lights. It was a very fitting conclusion, but coming up short tonight was Brad Patton. But before we get to him, we've caught up with Andrew Fayash here in the booth. And before we get to your amazing wreck avoidance, Andrew, I just want to ask you, how do you think your race went? Did you think it went to plan, or did you have other things in mind?
It went pretty good. I mean, I can't complain about a third spot any week, especially, against the quality people we have here, driving-wise. But, yeah, I started on the pole, which was awesome, unexpected. I picked up time a bit from practice and was happy with that. But I wanted to start last. I said on the radio show, on the ITZR radio show last week, that if Alfala showed up this week, I was going to start last with him because he's been starting last every week and winning. And they called me out on it, and I said, I'll do it if he's here. And I just finished my lap, and he logged in the server. So the first pit stop, the first caution, I intentionally went to the back just to do it.
Very interesting. And now to get to that wreck, you had Chad Coleman hit the apron in front of you, and nowhere to go. You kept patience and shot through the middle and avoided all that mess. What was going through your mind as you made that amazing move?
Well, I kind of had an idea that something was going to happen because in 3 and 4, Coleman, I don't know what happened to Coleman. I don't know if he caught the wall and messed up his car or something a few laps ago or what, but 3 and 4 he ran really slow. Patton had to check up for him. Byron almost ran into Patton, but he went high. Patton did. So in 1 and 2, I was kind of like, as soon as Jeff jumped in line, I'm like, oh, if he screws up again or if something's wrong with his car, it's going to get ugly. And I kind of knew it was coming and just held my line. I thought about going high there when Jeff cut to the bottom, and I'm really glad I didn't because I'd have been in it. But all you got to do is just, you got to get on the brake just enough to not lock him up and look for the spot. And as soon as you see a hole, you got to gas it because it'll close real quick.
Definitely. And you end up with the third place finish tonight. Any sponsors, shout-outs, or anybody else you'd like to thank for your efforts in tonight's race?
I just want to thank In the Zone Racing for putting this on like they always do. They've always done a great job. The race started out a little bit uglier than most of our shows. I mean, we had early green flag runs at a lot of the races this year, and it was a little bit of a mess early. But once we got things sorted out, it was a nice race. And I want to thank you guys, Checkered Flag Interactive, for broadcasting tonight and future possible broadcasts.
All right, awesome. And that was our third place finisher, Andrew Fayash, coming back from avoiding a huge wreck and somehow ends up top 3 after all this eventually happened in that race. It's pretty crazy indeed, Lee. And I guess now we've caught up to our second place finisher, Brad Patton.
Well, Brad.
How's it going?
Alright. How you doing, Brad? We saw how your race went. You looked like you dominated that long run there. Looks like pit strategy kind of bit you, but explain to us how your race went other than that.
At the start of the race, I just wanted to go to the back. I didn't want to get involved in anything, and I wanted to be able to, stop if there was any problems in front of me in that. And then going more towards the middle of the race, I wanted to actually start working my way up to the front, racing with Alfala and Daly and Eric and all them guys up there. So finally got up there and had that long run, which I felt like I had the best car at the time. Then did the pit and took too much fuel, and it bit me in the butt. So yeah.
Yeah, we saw you early in the race running in the back and falling there with Andrew and all them, but saw you make your way up to the front. Looked like you had a really good car. Explain to us through that big wreck there with Chad and all them. I don't remember if you were in front of it or behind it, but we saw right after that we had a long green flag run. Did your race change at all from there, or your strategy or anything like that?
No. The strategy stayed the same. Just keep working my way until I got to that front position. The wreck actually happened right next to me. I was on the high side going into 1 there, and I don't know if it was Byron that got into. I believe it was a 6 car. I don't know what happened. All I seen was the six starting to get sideways, and I just kept following Alfala. And next thing I know, I don't even know how many cars. There were like 10 or 15 cars that were involved, and that took out some good cars. And then after that, I just wanted to work on, just getting into a rhythm, hitting your marks, and just go from there. And luckily, we actually had that long the green flag run to where I was able to focus, and then pit stops happened. So, yeah, all in all, it was a good race. It was fun. In the zone racing, it's a pretty fun league here. Even though it's part time for me, it seems how I work during the week at nighttime. I'm gonna try to make it as many as possible. So I'd like to thank you guys for hosting this, and thank In the Zone for having the race, and everybody for coming out and people watching.
And that was Brad Patton, your second place finisher here tonight. Obviously disappointed with the result. Seemed like he had the best car. Obviously, we heard him say pit strategy kind of hurt him, but all in all, he still got a second place finish, and he's still pleased with that. So, unfortunately, I don't think we have our winner, Bill Brown, with us tonight, but Bill is the winner, and Brad and Andrew are the top three. So, anything else you want to say, Shane, about tonight's race?
Well, I think it was an awesome race, but before we go off the air, I just want to take a minute or two to go through the entire finishing order out of the 36 cars that did start this race. Obviously, Bill Brown ends up your winner tonight, coming home second in a disappointing second, but still a great finish for Brad Patton, obviously running part-time, so a little bit of a disappointment there. But Andrew Fash comes home third. Eric Myers, solid finish in fourth, and rounding out your top five is Austin Atkinson, and Travis Finney finished sixth. And finishing seventh in tonight's event is Joe Annunziata. Finishing eighth is Tom Guerin. Finishing ninth is Matthew Hicks. 10th, Bill Tomer. That rounds out your top 10. Finishing 11th is Scott Rutherford. Finishing 12th in tonight's event is Case Brinksma. 13th, J.D. Laird. A nice finish from Thomas Mitzer in 14th. He was one of the guys who started in the back half of the field. Finishing 15th is Chris Surquois. He's, as I almost got ahead of myself, did start in the back as well. So good comeback by both those guys. Finishing 16th is the wounded Chad Coleman. That car was heavily damaged after contact with the apron. Caused a huge pileup about halfway through the race, so tough break for him. Finishing 17th tonight is Cody Welker. 18th is Trevor Dalton. 19th, Kevin Malone. And 20th was my pick, Jeff Ramsdale. Disappointment as he was still caught up in that big wreck. Finishing 21st is William Fletcher. 22nd was Christopher Kurdzio. We saw him lead a couple laps. 23rd is Ray Alfala, who pulled off for no odd reason. Finishing 24th, Jane Klein. Finishing 25th is Alan Cryer, also involved in that big wreck. Byron Daly finishes 26th. Coulter 27th. Both those guys involved in the wreck. Jason Van Cleek 28th, and 29th is Jordan Hightower, who hit the wall heavy twice, and that was all that his car could handle. And unfortunate 29th finish for him. Scott Gieswhite gonna finish 13th. Finishing 30th. Finishing 31st is Doug Geether. 32nd, Dustin Linger. 33rd, Corey England. 34th, Nick Lancaster. Rounding out the top 35 is William Long. And the last finisher in that race, 130 laps down, is David Powell, involved in the first caution. And been a long race, a long night. I guess from checkered flag interaction, round 9 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway of the In the Zone Racing League. I am Shane Doherty.
And I am Brandon Hoff.
And we are from Checkered Flag Interactive saying so long, good night, and we'll see you next week.